The world begins with violence. A storm lashes the savannah as thunder cracks the night. Clara strains, her body trembling, forcing new life into a world already waiting to destroy it. Ethan slides into the dirt, wet, fragile, gasping. Before he can rise, shadows stir in the tall grass, eyes glowing with hunger. Nature does not wait. Death moves quickly here, silent as breath. The air reeks of blood and fear. Survival begins not with peace but with terror. Ethan kicks weakly, crying into the storm, unaware of the jaws ready to silence him. Lightning splits the sky, revealing hyenas crouched low, their bodies tense, hunger alive. Clara bellows, defiant yet desperate, her body weak from labor. She knows what waits. Every second is the difference between life and slaughter. The law is written without mercy. Ethan must rise, or he will fall forever. Ethan's body shakes as he tries to rise, legs folding beneath him. The storm punishes every breath, each drop striking like stone. Clara nudges, urging life into her newborn. The hyenas wait, patient, knowing weakness writes its own ending. Hunger sharpens their resolve. The ground trembles as thunder rolls across the land. This is not a gentle beginning, but a trial. Ethan whimpers, mud clinging to his body. Lightning reveals fangs glistening in the dark. Oh! Clara positions herself between danger and child, yet her strength fades. The storm masks the growls, but eyes in the grass burn brighter. Survival hangs by a thread, and time bleeds fast. The hyenas move closer, muscles rippling under rain. Each step is slow, deliberate, merciless. Ethan collapses again, breath rasping against wet earth. Clara bellows, pushing forward with sheer defiance. Her body shakes, drained by birth, but instinct drives her. The storm roars louder, as though nature itself joins the hunt. A hyena snarls, teeth flashing white under lightning. The circle tightens. Ethan lifts his head weakly, eyes wide, innocence clashing with terror. Death does not wait. It comes crawling, relentless, fangs dripping hunger. The grass bends with movement unseen. Shadows ripple in silence, predators hidden, watching, waiting. Ethan gasps, fighting to rise again, each movement clumsy. Clara stomps the ground, sending mud flying, her call echoing through the storm. Her body is weak, but her will remains sharp. Hunger stares from the dark. The hyenas circle, calculating, knowing the struggle has already chosen sides. The night is theirs, unless life fights harder. Ethan rises, legs quaking like brittle branches, but manages a fragile stance. His cry pierces the storm, raw and broken. Clara presses closer, her flank shielding. The hyenas pause, testing the distance. Lightning cracks, outlining the battlefield. For a heartbeat, the world holds still, prey and predator staring across the void. Then movement stirs, and the hunt begins. The storm begins to ease, but the danger does not fade. Clara stands, her sides heaving, her strength drained yet her resolve burning. Ethan leans against her, shivering, his legs still weak. In that fragile frame lives both hope and despair. Clara lowers her head, her breath steaming as she nudges him to move. Ethan stumbles, mud clinging to his tiny body, his cry soft but piercing. The hyenas linger, pacing, waiting for weakness to decide the outcome. Nature has written no promise here. Ethan's survival depends on his first steps, his first test. Clara knows the cost of hesitation. She pushes forward, eyes locked on her child, her will unbroken. The world watches, silent but merciless. Ethan tries again, legs folding like brittle reeds. But he rises a little higher. Clara bellows softly, not in rage but in encouragement, her call vibrating with desperate love. He collapses once more, mud splashing, but he does not stay down. His chest heaves, and his eyes widen with something new, the spark of determination. Clara circles him, shielding his frail body with her larger frame. Her wounds from labor ache, but instinct drives her to protect. The hyenas grow restless, pacing, tails flicking, jaws snapping. Every second Ethan remains grounded is a second closer to death. The air thickens with tension as fragile life struggles against overwhelming odds. The grass sways with whispers of hidden movement, but Clara stands firm. Ethan pushes upward, trembling legs locking, his head shaking with effort. A soft cry escapes him, fragile but alive. Clara steps closer, her body pressing against his side, lending warmth and strength. For a moment, the world narrows to mother and child, a bond unspoken yet unbreakable. The predators wait, their patience sharpened by hunger. But something shifts. Ethan does not fall. His body wavers, but his spirit holds. Clara's eyes gleam, not with fear now but with fierce pride. Thorn may have tested them, but life answers with defiance. Clara lowers her head, brushing Ethan gently, her voice a deep hum carried in the air. It is the call of survival, the ancient bond that has kept generations alive. Ethan steadies, leaning into her warmth, his breath still ragged but steadier now. The predators snarl softly, but they do not charge yet. Their instincts warn them of Clara's horns and her defiance. Rain drips from leaves, the storm's echo lingering. Ethan takes one clumsy step, then another. Clara moves beside him, slow, deliberate, guiding. Each fragile step deepens the connection between them. Each heartbeat defies the circle waiting in the dark. The sky lightens, the storm's fury fading into silence. Yet tension remains, sharp as claws in the grass. Ethan lifts his head, ears twitching, his cry sharper now, no longer helpless but alive. Clara moves forward, her body shielding, her eyes fierce, daring the predators to come. For a moment, the Savanna holds its breath, as if watching this fragile defiance. The hyenas hesitate, the first seed of doubt gnawing at hunger. Ethan stumbles but catches himself, his small body swaying, his spirit unyielding. A calf born in mud and storm now breathes against death's shadow. The fight has only begun. The dawn glow spreads across the Savanna, but peace does not follow. Storm has passed, yet danger grows sharper with every second. Hyenas slink closer, their paws silent but their hunger roaring louder than thunder. Clara plants herself like a fortress, horns lowered, body weak but unyielding. Ethan wavers beside her, legs shaking, his fragile frame still learning to hold itself. The predators laugh, their cruel voices echoing in the still air, mocking survival itself. Clara's breath steams as she exhales, a sound like fire in the morning chill. Ethan tries to mirror her strength, but trembles, eyes wide with innocence. The circle shrinks tighter, and the world narrows to predator and prey. Each breath is borrowed, each heartbeat a fragile defiance. Then with a growl-splitting silence, the pack moves, and the test of survival begins in earnest. The hyenas test their prey, circling in jagged arcs, their laughter rising like shattered glass across the plain. Clara stomps the ground, mud splattering, her horns slicing the air as warning. Ethan jerks at the sound, shrinking closer to her side, his small body trembling like reeds in the wind. Every charge is false, every retreat deliberate, designed to test resolve. Clara swings her head low, daring them forward, her strength faltering, but her will unbroken. A scarred hyena snarls, drool threading from its jaws, and snaps at air inches from Ethan's legs. Clara lunges, horns flashing, and the predator recoils, but hunger does not ease. Ethan lowers his head, confused but determined, watching his mother's defiance. Each lesson is carved into his trembling frame, a language of survival older than time itself. The pack grows bolder, pressing closer, smelling weakness in every ragged breath. The sky darkens again, storm clouds gathering, as if nature itself sides with death. The wind bends the tall grass, whispering secrets of the hunt. Clara steadies herself, her eyes blazing with defiance, despite exhaustion clawing at her body. Ethan stumbles forward, legs collapsing, his chest crashing into the wet earth. Mud cakes his face, yet he rises, every shake of his body a protest against weakness. A hyena lunges suddenly, fangs flashing like lightning, hunger gleaming in its eyes. Clara charges without hesitation, horns cutting the air, her roar scattering the predator back into the circle. The hyenas regroup, growling, tails lashing, their frenzy stoked by resistance. Clara stands panting, muscles quivering, sides heaving with exhaustion, yet she does not yield. Ethan presses close, mud dripping from his face, his eyes wide with both fear and the spark of courage. The battle has not begun fully, but its shadow already bleeds across the Savanna. Clara's bellow rips across the Savanna, raw and ancient, vibrating through the grass like thunder reborn. Ethan shivers but lifts his head, his ears twitching, his wide eyes searching hers for strength. The hyenas do not falter, their leader snarling, saliva dripping from jagged teeth, eyes locked on Clara's fatigue. Her body aches, muscles trembling, each breath heavier than the last. She lowers her head, horns gleaming with rainwater, daring them closer. Ethan presses into her flank, his tiny body quaking, but he draws warmth from her presence. He does not yet know fear, only the pulse of survival passed from mother to child. The predators circle wider, growls vibrating through the ground. Time stretches, the air thick with anticipation. Every second is a knife edge where survival tilts. The Savanna seems to hold its breath, waiting for the storm of violence to break loose. The first real strike comes like lightning. A hyena lunges low, muscles coiled, aiming for Ethan's fragile legs. Hunger drives it reckless, its jaws snapping with feral intent. Clara erupts forward, horns sweeping, her body crashing through the storm of mud and dust. The sound thunders across the plain, hooves tearing earth as she slams into the predator's path. Ethan leaps sideways, awkward, clumsy, nearly falling, but he scrambles back to his feet, alive. The hyena skids back, yelping, its flank brushed by the tip of Clara's horn. Rage floods its eyes, matched by the growing frenzy of the pack. They circle tighter, snarls rising, their bodies weaving in rhythm with hunger's command. Clara shakes, her sides heaving, muscles burning from birth and battle. Yet she plants herself firmly, eyes blazing with unbroken will. Ethan's chest heaves, his cry piercing the dawn, fragile yet alive. The war for survival has begun in truth, and it will not stop until blood stains the grass. The battlefield grows still for a moment, the predators pacing, Clara heaving with exhaustion, Ethan trembling but standing. Then, a revelation unfolds. From the shadows, another hyena emerges, larger, older, scars etched deep across her face. She does not rush to kill but halts, her ribs visible beneath ragged fur. Her eyes lock on Clara, not with cruelty but with recognition of shared burden. Behind her, faint cries rise from the grass, whimpering pups too young to hunt. The hyena mother snarls, torn between hunger and duty. Clara exhales, nostrils flaring, her instincts reading the truth. Predator and prey stand mirrored, both mothers, both protectors, both fighting against inevitability. The Savanna does not deal in villains or heroes, only survivors. The pack hesitates, their eyes flicking from the older hyena to Clara. The truth is revealed. This hunt is not only hunger but survival of another brood. The pups cry softly, hidden in grass, their lives tied to the blood on the ground. Clara stamps the earth warning, but her gaze lingers on the mother across from her. Ethan presses closer, wide eyes fixed on the predator. The hyena mother growls, stepping forward, her frame gaunt but her spirit unbroken. She is not evil, only desperate, a mirror of Clara's own struggle. For the first time the Savanna bends its truth into something more complex. Life must feed on life, and mothers carry the heaviest cost. The younger hyenas snarl, snapping at the air, their frenzy rising. Yet they look to the mother, awaiting her signal. She stands unmoving, her sides heaving, eyes locked on Clara. Ethan cries weakly, his body shaking, his innocence caught in the cruel bargain. Clara lowers her head again, pawing the ground, ready to defend with the last of her strength. The silence between mothers feels heavy, broken only by the whimpering pups and the soft wind. Each knows the other's truth. One fights for her calf, the other for her starving litter. The balance tilts dangerously, a fragile thread binding two desperate battles into one. In this moment, survival is not predator against prey, but mothers locked in mirrored pain. The wind carries the scent of blood and milk, weaving predator and prey into the same story. Clara shifts closer to Ethan, brushing her muzzle against him, her body a shield and a vow. The hyena mother growls low, her hunger undeniable, but her eyes flick to the grass where tiny heads stir, waiting for her return. The pack grows impatient, tails lashing, their bodies twitching with instinct to strike. Yet no attack comes. The stalemate burns, each heartbeat a question with no answer. Clara exhales slowly, her eyes fierce but knowing. The hyena mother crouches, torn between mercy and necessity. The Savanna waits, holding its breath, demanding that one side pay the cost. Then the truth cuts deeper than claws. Ethan stumbles but stays standing, his cry thin yet piercing. Clara bellows, echoing across the plain, her defiance refusing silence. The hyena pups whimper louder, their voices sharp with need. The hyena mother flinches, her body trembling as instinct collides with duty. She snarls at her own pack, snapping jaws forcing them back. Their rage grows, but they obey, held in check by her authority. Clara lowers her horns again, but no strike comes. For a moment, predator and prey stand as equals, both bound to protect fragile life. The Savanna reveals its cruelest truth. Survival is not just hunger, but sacrifice. And in sacrifice, there is no victory, only cost. The battle erupts in a deafening roar. Clara charges forward, her hooves pounding the earth as the hyenas lunge together. Her body moves like a war machine, a fury driven by the need to protect. The air cracks with tension, the earth trembling beneath the weight of the struggle. Ethan stumbles back, his tiny body quaking with fear and exhaustion. Yet there is no time to fall. Clara's horns strike out, the first hyena falling back, howling in pain. Another lunges, but Clara spins, a graceful yet brutal force of nature. Mud flies, sweat mingles with rain, and the ground becomes a battleground. Her body weakens, but her heart beats with the power of survival. The hyenas circle, calculating their hunger still sharp, but Clara stands her ground. Her breath comes in ragged bursts, but her eyes burn with an unyielding fire. No force, not even death, will take her child. The battle intensifies as Clara fights with every last ounce of strength. Her body is covered in cuts, bruises, and exhaustion, yet she does not falter. Each charge forces the hyenas to retreat, but they keep coming, relentless. Ethan watches, paralyzed by fear, his heart racing as his mother defends him. The Savanna is alive with the sounds of struggle, the earth shaking with every strike. Clara's hooves strike the ground, leaving deep imprints in the wet earth, her resolve as firm as the soil beneath her. The hyenas are fast, cunning, but Clara is driven by love, a power more primal than hunger. Her horns connect with another hyena, sending it crashing into the mud, but others close in, their jaws snapping with unrelenting fury. Clara stands strong, her body aching, but her spirit, her will to protect, refuses to break. Clara stumbles, her hooves slipping in the mud as a hyena leaps forward, aiming for her side. She spins, barely avoiding the strike, but her legs tremble under the strain. The hyena packs in tighter, sensing the moment of weakness. Clara's breath is ragged, her body covered in bruises, but she fights on, her movements sharp despite the pain. A low growl rumbles in her chest, and with one final burst, she charges again. The hyena nearest her falls back, its attack thwarted by Clara's last display of strength. Ethan's eyes widen as he watches his mother battle against the odds, his heart pounding. This is not just a fight for survival, but for the love and protection of a mother who will never let go. The Savanna watches, silent in its own way, as a mother fights with everything she has. Clara's body slows, exhaustion settling deep in her bones. Her breathing is heavy, and her muscles burn with every movement. She stumbles once more, her hooves slipping in the mud. The hyenas see this moment, this crack in her defense, and they close in. Their growls echo like a death sentence, their hunger palpable. Ethan screams, a sharp cry that rings through the savannah, urging his mother to keep fighting. Clara pushes through the pain, her body protesting with every step, but she is driven by a force greater than herself. She will not let her child fall. With one final roar, Clara lashes out, her horns striking the hyena leader. It falls back, stunned, giving Clara the precious seconds she needs to retreat, to protect Ethan once more. But the hyenas are relentless. They move in, sensing victory in the air. Just as the hyenas close in, a sudden sound breaks the tension, a shout, a roar of defiance from another corner of the savannah. From the tall grass, a herd of wildebeests charge in, their bodies moving like a wall of fury. The hyenas hesitate, their instincts confused, and in that moment of doubt, Clara seizes the opportunity. She charges again, stronger than before, her horns connecting with one hyena, sending it flying. The herd arrives, their massive bodies forcing the predators to retreat. Clara and Ethan stand, exhausted but alive, their bodies trembling from the battle, but their bond unbroken. The hyenas scatter, their hunger thwarted by the power of the herd. For now, Clara has won, not just for herself, but for her son. The savannah quiets once more, as the dust settles, and the fight for survival finally ends. The savannah stands still, the battle won, but the cost remains heavy in the air. Clara stands tall, her eyes scanning the horizon, every muscle in her body aching from the fight. Ethan stumbles beside her, his tiny legs unsteady, but he is alive. The wildebeests have moved on, leaving behind only the echoes of their charge. The hyenas have retreated, their hunt thwarted by a mother's strength and the fury of the herd. Clara breathes in deeply, the storm having passed, yet the weight of survival lingers. Ethan looks up at her, his trust unbroken. In this moment, nature's cycle feels eternal, violence and peace in a constant dance. Clara's body is bruised, her spirit worn, but her heart beats steady. The savannah, though cruel and harsh, has not taken everything from her. She has fought for what matters, and in this victory, there is quiet, fleeting peace. Clara looks down at Ethan, her eyes softening as she sees the fragility of the world through his gaze. The fight is over, but the battle for survival continues, for both of them. Ethan stands firm now, his legs wobbling but determined, his first lesson learned. Clara's heart swells with pride, even as it aches. She nudges him gently, guiding him forward, her body weary, but her purpose clear. The savannah has a way of reshaping those who survive it. The landscape stretches before them, vast and endless, but now it seems less threatening. They move together, a mother and child, the world around them no longer an immediate danger but something to understand, to navigate. Clara may be scarred, but she is not broken. Ethan follows closely, each step a promise of life, of more days to come. The sun climbs higher, painting the savannah in golds and oranges. Clara and Ethan walk side by side, the mother guiding the child, the battle now behind them. They pass the remnants of the fight, broken branches, the imprint of hooves in the mud, the faint smell of blood carried by the wind. Clara's body aches, each movement a reminder of the cost, but her resolve is unshaken. Ethan's steps are still hesitant, but with every passing moment he becomes stronger, more aware of his surroundings. Clara glances back at him, her eyes filled with unspoken promises. The world is harsh, but together they will face it. The path ahead is long, filled with unknowns, but as long as they are together, they will walk it. The Savannah may have been cruel, but it has also given them something precious: time, life, and each other. As they continue their journey, the sounds of the Savannah become more familiar, the rhythm of life settling into their bones. Birds call overhead, the wind rustles the grass, and in the distance the low rumble of other herds moving through the plains. Clara stops, her ears twitching, listening to the land around her. She knows that this peace is fleeting, but it is enough for now. Ethan looks up at her, a quiet understanding passing between them. He may not fully grasp the weight of survival, but in his small way he knows that the battle is far from over. Clara takes a deep breath, feeling the wind on her face, knowing that she has given her son the greatest gift she could, the chance to live, to grow, to survive. The Savannah will test them again, but for now, they have won this moment. The journey continues, but the weight of the battle fades as they walk side by side. The sun now high in the sky, its warmth a reminder that the fight was not in vain. Clara walks steadily, her steps sure, as Ethan follows with growing confidence. The Savannah is vast, and its challenges will never cease, but the bond between mother and child is a force that no storm or predator can break. Together, they will face whatever comes next. Clara nudges Ethan gently, guiding him through the landscape, teaching him the ways of survival. The cycle of life continues, and though the future is uncertain, they face it with unbreakable resolve. As the horizon stretches before them, they walk into the unknown, not as victims but as survivors, knowing that as long as they stand together, they will endure. The Savannah has fallen silent once more. Clara and Ethan move across the plains, the wind now soft, the sun low in the sky, casting long shadows over the grass. They are small in this vast world, but the connection between them is unbreakable. The ground beneath their hooves is no longer a battlefield but a path forward, a reminder of the trials they have faced and survived. Ethan's steps are sure now, his legs no longer trembling, though his eyes still carry the weight of what has passed. Clara walks beside him, her body scarred but her spirit resolute. The predators are gone, the storm is over, and the Savannah's silence feels like a deep breath, a moment of peace after the chaos. Yet they both know that the cycle will continue, and life will press forward, always testing, always challenging. But in this moment, the world stands still for them, a mother and child walking together into the horizon. The horizon stretches before them, wide and empty, filled with possibilities. Clara's eyes scan the distance, as though she can already see the challenges that await them. But there is no fear in her gaze, only the knowledge that they have faced the worst and come out stronger. Ethan looks up at her, his gaze filled with admiration and trust. He doesn't yet understand the full weight of survival, but he has learned something crucial. Strength comes from within, and love is the fiercest force of all. They walk in silence, each step taking them further from the fight, and closer to the future. The Savannah's quiet hum surrounds them, a constant reminder that life moves on, even in the face of adversity. The sun dips lower, casting a golden glow on their path, marking the end of one journey and the beginning of another. Guyet stretches on, but Clara knows that the land is always changing. The wind shifts, the earth cracks, and new dangers will arise, just as they always have. The bond between mother and child will remain their greatest strength, and together they will face whatever comes next. The Savannah is not kind, but it is not cruel either. It simply is, in all its untamed beauty and danger. They move forward, not as conquerors but as survivors, knowing that survival is not a singular victory, but a continuous fight. Ethan looks ahead now, his gaze resolute, the lessons of the past shaping his every movement. Clara nudges him gently, guiding him with quiet strength, her presence a steadying force. They have overcome, but the world will test them again. For now, they are together, and that is enough. A distant cry echoes across the plains, not a predator's call, but the sound of life continuing. The birds soar overhead, their wings slicing through the air with freedom, as if reminding Clara and Ethan that they too are part of this grand cycle. The wind picks up, brushing through the tall grass, carrying with it the scent of fresh rain and the promise of new life. Clara pauses for a moment, breathing in deeply, allowing herself to rest in the simplicity of this moment. The weight of the past is still there, but for the first time, it feels like a shadow behind them, not a burden. Ethan stands beside her, his presence a quiet affirmation of the bond they share. The Savannah, in all its wildness, has shaped them, and they have shaped each other. The future stretches out before them, unwritten but full of potential. As the last light of day fades into the night, Clara and Ethan continue their journey, the Savannah now dark and still. Their silhouettes are barely visible against the darkened plains, yet they move forward, side by side, an unspoken promise between them. The stars begin to twinkle above, silent witnesses to their struggle and survival. The world does not stop. It does not wait. But it does allow for moments of peace, however fleeting. Clara's body is tired, but her spirit is steadfast. Ethan walks with confidence now, his steps steady and sure, the lessons of the past embedded in his heart. They are not alone. The entire Savannah is with them, in the rustling grass, the distant cries of animals, the wind in the trees. For now, they walk as survivors, and in that, there is a quiet, profound victory.